Hello and welcome back to another edition of our Positive Word. I thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to see you. The topic for today's session is Make Me Humble. The word humility seems to be disappearing regularly with each passing day. It's sad how human beings have become demigods unto themselves, and arrogance, pride has become the order of the day. This is the reason why I am actually saying this to God: make me humble. In other words, help me to be humble. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 4. You should be humble. You should obey and respect the Lord. Then you will receive riches, honor, and long life. Humility has a way of making one live life to the full. I saw this practically in the life my father lived. Yes, he wasn't the wealthiest man in the world, but he had a rich life. He lived long and he had honor. A humble person understands that he or she is not better than anybody else, and they're wise enough to know that he or she is different from other people. If you are humble, you will be patient to learn from everyone you encounter. But the proud person will never stop to learn from anyone, because they're full of themselves and they know everything in and within themselves. May I remind us, James chapter 4 verse 6, God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble person. Let's have humble spirits. Never consider yourself above or below anyone. We all came from the dust, and we will return to that dust. You may be the greatest person, richest person with the grandest mansion. Your home is grand, the exotic car, and everything else that you need. It is the same size of grave where the poorest man on earth is buried that you will be buried in. Let us be like Christ Jesus, who was the epitome of humility. He was humility alive. He was humble to the core. There was never a time we saw anything contrary to being humble. Arrogance creates ignorant people. Hence, we see so many today, especially in certain parts of the world where these developing or underdeveloped nations, people are so arrogant, full of themselves. Hence, they're ignorant of anything else. Life has a way of making a person humble. So when you think that you know everything because you occupy a certain position, you are beyond respect. Life will teach the lesson that person needs to learn. My prayer is for God to help me to be a humble person in all I do, whomever I encounter. We are all the same. This is something that will liberate people if people would understand that we are all the same before the sight of God. There is no great person before God. We're all servants. And that's how we will be welcomed in his presence. Good and faithful servant. I hope and pray that God will make more people humble become modest, meek, simple. All these titles that people are craving to have, to be addressed by, none of them will go with anybody when they finally take their last breath. May there be more people who would understand that humility paves the way, brings riches, honor, and long life. I thank you for joining me today. I hope that you'll begin to practice this lifestyle of being humble. God bless you.